Jo Linsdell, and today I'm going to talk to you a bit about the behind the scenes of how I wrote my latest book, which is Virtual Book Tours, Effective Online Book Promotion from the Comfort of Your Own Home. Now, this book has actually become a bestseller on day one of its launch, and it's still rocking the bestseller charts now, so really pleased with how that's going. Anyway, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I wrote the book and why I've done particular things for its release. Now, the first thing that I did when I came up with the idea for this book was design the cover. Now, as the idea for the book was very clear, I wanted to write a book about virtual book tours, and it was basically going to be a guide to show people everything they needed to do and everything they needed to know to be able to set up and carry out their own successful virtual book tour. So the idea was very clear for me there. I've done several successful virtual book tours for my own books, and I also have years of experience in hosting other authors as well, both on my blogs, for social media chats, and also through Writers and Authors TV for video interviews and segments as well. So anyway, all this experience with the virtual book tours meant that I was getting a lot of emails from people asking me for tips about how to do them and things like that. So anyway, I decided that I'd put together this book, and it would be their how-to guide with everything that they could possibly want to know about virtual book tours. So anyway, the first thing I did was design the cover. Now, it's a Kindle book, so I printed off the cover here for you. So that's the cover anyway. Designed it and made it myself using Adobe Illustrator. I wanted something that would show up good as a thumbnail image, because obviously Kindle books, a lot of the time when you see them, it's a tiny little image. So I wanted something that was nice and clean, no clutter and things around. I wanted a very legible text, so that it would show up well even on the small print. I mean, the important thing here is the book is about virtual book tours, so I wanted that to really stand out. The subtitle is a bit secondary, but it's on there anyway. And then my name down the bottom there, because obviously I have a bit of a reputation for doing virtual book tours, and several of my books are bestsellers. So anyway, that's on there for name recognition as well. For the image, I wanted something that basically meant, sending your book around the world, because that's what we do when we do a virtual book tour. We're sending it around the virtual world. So anyway, that's the image, the book going around the world. Pretty simple concept, but I find that it's worked out quite nicely. I've got lots of compliments on the cover, so really pleased with that. And a lot of the compliments that I've had is that it's optimized perfectly for Kindle thumbnail images. So my goal was achieved with the cover anyway. Now, one of the reasons why I do the cover first is because it helps motivate me to finish the book, because it makes the project seem more real. So it helps me get to the end of the finished product there. And the other reason why I do the cover first is because I can then use it for pre-release promotion. Now, in the case of this book, that really went down well, because I actually managed to sell copies of the book before the actual launch date. I published it with KDP program by Amazon, and I wanted to give myself a little buffer zone, so I actually published it to Amazon a few days before the official launch date that I'd set up for the start of my tour and everything else, because I wanted to make sure that it would, one, be on site in time, because Amazon, although they're very good and they did actually get it up in less than 12 hours from when I click publish, but sometimes it can actually take a couple of days or whatever. Also, I wanted to make sure there were no formatting errors or anything like that, because Amazon's system can sometimes be a bit funny about those. They pick up on the slightest little errors. Luckily there wasn't, so that went through straight away. And the other thing, so I could get the product page set up, so it was connected with my Author Central page, all the information was in the book description and everything else on there. So anyway, it actually went live a couple of days before the official launch day. The only promotion I'd done up to then was pre-release, it's coming soon, and advertising the actual release date. But the book actually sold several copies anyway, so that was really, really good. And then it became a bestseller on actually day one of the launch, because obviously people knew that the book was coming, they knew the cover to look for, they knew that it was out on Amazon and that I was publishing through KDP. So anyway, it went really, really well, and it's been a bestseller from day one. So good reason for doing the cover first. Now, one of the things that I did when writing the book was I used a template which I got from Guy Kawasaki, who wrote the book Ape. If you haven't read it, then I highly recommend that you check it out, because there's some really good stuff in there, including a free template that you can use for formatting your own book for Kindle. It really saved me a lot of time because the book was basically formatted as I wrote it, using the template that he had there. So thumbs up for Ape and for Guy. Now, the next thing that I did for the actual writing of the book was create a table of contents. Okay, so typical table of contents that you find at the beginning of the book. Now, the reason why I start with the table of contents is because that basically then became the structure for my book. I brainstormed the sort of questions that I get asked most about virtual book tours, because I get sent a lot of emails asking me stuff about them. I did also some brainstorming on what I think are the key points that I've discovered from doing my own virtual book tours. You know, what's worked particularly to my advantage, things that, you know, I could improve on and things like that. And then also a list of things that have come to my attention through being a host for other people's tours. Because through my blogs, through Writers and Authors TV, through the various different social media chats I do, for example, I do a Facebook War Chat Wednesday on my Jo Linsdell page on Facebook. And anyway, I grouped together all these things, all these elements, both from the author point of view and from the host point of view. And I came up together with this list. It was then just a case of reorganising the list into a logical order. So, you know, what do you do first when you're organising a virtual book tour? What are the first things that people want to know about virtual book tours? They got moved up to the top of the list. So anyway, that happened there, and that basically became the different chapters of my book. Once I'd organised them, they were divided into sections, so you have a kind of what you need to know pre-tour, what you need to do during the tour, and then a post-tour section as well, because with a virtual book tour, once it's over, it's never really over. You know, there's lots of things that you can do after your tour as well. So anyway, that was in there. I then decided that I wanted to have a nice big resources section in the book, because a lot of the books that I've read recently that are for writers, the things that I liked about some of them, for example, I read the Red Hot Marketing by Penny Sansevieri, and also Ape by Guy Kawasaki, and also lots of books by Shelley Hitz as well. And one of the things I loved about these books was the amount of resources they put in, the useful links that were included and things. So anyway, I decided that I would have a useful resources section as well towards the end, so that once the person reading the book has learned exactly what virtual book tours are, how to do them, you know, the tips for carrying them out and maximising them, leveraging them so that they can really maximise the success of their tour. I wanted to give them some useful links so they can actually put all of that information that they've learnt into practice. So anyway, there's host sites, there's places where you can submit press releases, sites where you can promote your free days and your discount days, a whole list of radio shows and things that interview authors. Anyway, there's a really big resources section at the end. So that was basically my book. You know, once I had that contents table set up, All I then had to do was expand on each of the posts, each of the points that were on the list. So really, really simple, basically. Okay, at this point, I basically have my book written. A lot of the things, the facts that are mentioned in it, I'm a complete social media junkie, for example, so I tend to follow these things anyway. Just one of my hobbies, I like it. But anyway, I did a quick research on Google to make sure that the stats that I had were actually the most recent. So, looking those up and verifying. And then I thought it would be fun as well to include some quotes that were relevant to each of the chapters, just to break it up a little bit and sort of give them an idea of what's to come by using a quote at the beginning. So anyway, I found I already had a few which are on my favourite quotes lists that were relevant, and then I just needed to fill in for the chapters that I didn't have already. So I looked up some writers' quotes and marketing quotes and things like that on the internet, and then just picked out the ones that I felt best suited the various chapters of the book. And basically that was it. The book was written at that point. My first draft was complete. Then we went into the editing stage. I edited it several times myself, and then sent it off to my fellow writing buddy Kathy Mashburn, who did an edit for me as well. Then when I got her copy back, I did another edit as well, because you see, you should never trust yourself. Never trust what you've written yourself. Because regardless of how many times you edit it, I mean, I edited it, I think, 4 times on the computer, and then I printed out a copy as well, which is here, printed out a copy of the book. So it's all the various pages of the book, all printed out there, and I edited it on paper as well. And then once I did the changes on the manuscript on the computer, I edited it again on the computer. Then I sent it off to Kathy so that she could edit it, and then I did another edit myself afterwards. And I can tell you, even with all that editing, in the final version I did after Kathy's edits, I still found a couple of things that I needed to change. So, don't trust yourself. Don't trust yourself, and, editing can go on forever. So, you have to give yourself a cut-off point, but that cut-off point has to be at a place where you're pretty sure that most of the things haven't gotten through. One of the great things about going through the KDP program is that should I come up with, finding errors on the book or whatever later, I can actually just do an updated version, upload it onto the system, and then anyone that's bought the book can then just click the little button and they'll get the updated version with the changes on it sent directly to them, and on their Kindle. And then obviously the people buying the book after that will get the updated version as well. So that's one of the things I really love about the KDP program, is if you do find a little mistake later on, it's really simple to republish without having to change your as-in code or anything like that. Nothing technical. So anyway, that was basically the book. And so I published that to the KDP program. The reason why I chose KDP for publishing it was because Amazon is king. And if you look at book sales stats, Amazon is leading the way. And with their various different reading apps that they have, you can actually get the Kindle app on your computer, you can get it on your phone, on your tablet, anywhere. So it means that even people who don't have a Kindle can actually read the Kindle books anyway. The apps are completely free as well, so they make it available for everyone. So it just seemed logical to go with them. I also find the program very, very simple to use. And Amazon actually have one of the best customer services that I've come across. Whenever I've had an issue, they've gotten straight back to me within minutes. So anyway, that's why I picked KDP. That's about it for this video, but anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little behind the scenes into my creative process for this book, and I hope that you will go and check the book out as well. It's on Amazon, the link is below, so I hope you check it out, and once you have read the book, then, you know, please take a minute to leave me a review, because I really love to hear your feedback. There's also the Goodreads link below as well, so, you know, if you want to post a review there or give it a rating there, add it to your to-read list even, then please hop on over and do that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao.